njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano inviting you to join me in Wildwood at Mulligan Shore Bar this Friday, June 21st, to celebrate Dom Giordano Day in Wildwood. We have an action-packed day planned, national guest of honor Scott Presler joining us, lots of local guests, and of course, entertainment by Burning Sky, the ultimate Bad Company tribute band. It'll be a great day in Wildwood. Blow off work Friday. Join me at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood starting at noon. Mulligan's at 310 West Hildreth Avenue in Wildwood. Details at 1210WPHT.com.
Why are you paying for an AC system that's struggling to keep you cool? If you hear something funny, smell something burny, your AC is frozen or leaking water, or even feel warm air coming from your AC, it's time to call CNC. CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers, can make it a no-sweat summer for your entire household with one phone call. 0% financing options available. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit cc-hvac.com to request your estimate today.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Good morning. There's so much to talk about this morning. I do want to get your take as far as all of the reports about the big POTUS debate, CNN. But I'm still hearing about some infighting between the Trump camp and the Biden camp as far as these rules. We want to get into that one. And just a heads up, as we think about that report that's being poo-pooed by many in the so-called mainstream media as far as non-citizens getting voter registration forms across the United States and how Republicans are trying to stop this. So this was, I believe, originally, one of the original reports I had seen was in the New York Post, and that was on Friday. They are reporting that government agencies such as so-called welfare offices in 49 states across America are providing voter registration forms to migrants without requiring proof of citizenship. And so this is now leading Republicans, lawmakers, to call for federal action to stop those kinds of handouts and to stop that from happening. Every state, with the exception of Arizona, which did recently pass a law barring the practice on state but not federal forms, gives applicants for either welfare benefits, driver's licenses, mail-in ballots, depending on the state, voter registration forms without demanding proof of citizenship. This is of grave concern. And I would hope in every state, Republicans should try to get this one on the ballot. How about that? There is currently no requirement on federal voting forms to provide proof of your U.S. citizenship. It is obviously illegal to falsely claim that you are a citizen, or for a non-citizen to cast a ballot in a federal election. So if it's illegal, then why not ensure that everybody is legally getting that form and filling out that form? We know that millions of, migrants, newcomers, whatever you want to say, with humanitarian parole, refugee, or maybe asylum status, they are eligible for benefits. We've talked a lot about this. That would bring them to the offices where the voter registration is currently taking place. And we hear about this across the country. So as far as the National Voter Registration Act of 1993, ordering states to register voters at the Department of Motor Vehicles, and then agencies where Americans apply for public benefits, those offices are required by federal law to hand over the registration forms along with the application papers. So if an applicant attests that they are a U.S. citizen, it is considered valid on its face, and that person, boom, is automatically registered to vote. You tell me how that's fair. It's not. This is ridiculous. And so the House Administration Committee, I know, had approved the so-called Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, which is known as SAVE, S-A-V-E, Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, say that 10 times fast, requiring states to receive proof of citizenship when anybody registers to vote by mail at a DMV or at any kind of, let's say, office where you're going for some kind of government aid. So those agency offices that you would have to have some kind of proof of citizenship. If you don't have the proof of citizenship, then you are not allowed to fill out the paperwork to register to vote. This is really simple, and it's ridiculous and shameful, disgraceful that we should even have to talk about this. So this is the way, think about it, this is the way that Democrats can beef up voter rolls. This is unconstitutional. It's illegal, but who's going to prove it? How do you prove it? If people don't have to show proof of citizenship when they're there at DMV, if they don't have to show that, then what are you going to do about it? And then you're just talking about it afterwards. The SAVE Act, puts this to rest and makes sure that every American can have confidence that our elections are decided by we the people. In other words, we as legal citizens of the United States of America. And this disgraceful tactic that is being, that is undeniable. This is happening. This is real. So I just want to put that on your radar. We don't even have to go down any road of talking about, and I really wish Republicans would stop with talking about stolen elections, because I think you have to be specific when you talk about what's happening. So if you're saying, well, Dawn, that would be stealing an election if illegal people here who are not legal citizens and they're voting, technically, are you saying that's stealing? Okay, but let's not speak with those broad brushstrokes. Let's speak very specifically that we want to support the SAVE Act, which makes sure that every one of us, if you are a legal citizen of the United States of America, then yes, you can vote. But we want full transparency, and we want to make sure that we have election integrity. This is the key to election integrity. And every single state should ensure that we have election integrity. So I want to put the SAVE Act on your radar. Make sure that you push for this. Make sure that you're aware of it. Democrats are going around saying, oh, this is a fabrication and this is being peddled. No, this is real. If somebody can go to DMV, and we saw this, for example, in New Jersey, we see it in Pennsylvania. If you go to DMV and you want to get some kind of a driver's license or you want to get a state ID, you can, if you fill out the form and you claim to be a legal citizen, and we've talked a lot about all those fake IDs found at the border. Then they dump that fake ID and they get a new ID, right? So they have access to all of this. So I simply want to say that we should make sure that their ID is real and checks out. You need a birth certificate. You need multiple forms of identification, and we need to do this properly. But we need to safeguard our elections and maintain election integrity. This is really simple here. And especially in battleground states, we want to watch this, right? 855-839-1210 is the number to call. By modest estimates, when you look at these numbers, these record-breaking numbers of individuals entering the United States every year since 2021, and I know I've talked a lot about this, but this figure has risen. Some estimates, depending on whose estimate you go to, and I know I've talked a lot about this, but at the minimum, we're looking at 9 million people. Some people put it up to 11 million. I know some people have put it up to 20 million. The numbers are all over the place because remember I told you the story about the reports in which the Biden administration was, in essence, if you've been processed and now you're going for asylum, so they've confirmed that you are a legitimate asylum seeker, and now you have a court date in 6 years, they're taking you off of the lists. Do you see what I'm saying? So the list may look a little different, a little smaller. But when you total everything, these are record-breaking, record-setting numbers of individuals coming into our country, and many of them, as you and I have talked about, unvetted. But at least 19 states, as well as D.C., allow non-citizens, as I've said, to get a driver's license. And this is one of the sources is the National Conference of State Legislatures. Okay, that was something that Biden had promoted and supported. Democrats really supported that, to say you get a driver's license. I would say this, okay, when somebody under 21, what does your driver's license look like? If you're under 21, they make your driver's license, instead of horizontal, it's vertical. So now we need to make the driver's license of somebody who is not a legal citizen, it should look very different, however you want to make that. And I believe that the pandemic helped out with, the voter ID, that the new licenses, the real ID with the holographic imaging. It's going to be tougher to make a counterfeit, a fake ID. The pandemic allowed for the real ID, allowed for it to be delayed. And that's to the advantage of people who want to take advantage of our system and come into our country and get benefits and to be able to vote, etc. So I know that I reported this spring that a federal judge upheld the Arizona law requiring proof of citizenship on state registration forms, with federal forms only requiring a signed statement. Okay, that's all you need. You need to just sign a statement confirming your U.S. citizenship, and that's how you get benefits, and that's how you could vote. So basically, we just want to take everybody's word for it. Well, that's not good enough for me. I mean, we have to show proof of ID for everything else. Think about all the times that you have to show your ID. I always say to my husband, here in Philadelphia, if you want to rent one of the bicycles, like we love to do that every once in a while, you don't have to lug your bike around on Kelly Drive, and they have all these great bike rentals. Here in the city of Philadelphia, if you want to rent one of these bikes to tool around, guess what you show? You must show your driver's license. If you don't have a valid ID, they're not going to let you rent a freaking bicycle. And yet the same people in Philadelphia who say that you must show your driver's license to rent the bicycle, because they want to know who you are and they want to verify that. And if you steal their bike, that sort of thing, they want to be able to track you down. So those same individuals in charge of that are the same individuals saying, but if you want to vote, we'll take your word for it. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. I think this is outrageous. I think this is one of the key issues that we could all agree on, right? 855-839-1210. I want to get to, I'll take Jim's call, all right? Hey, Jim, you're in the Northeast?
Yes. Your topic just set me off like a Roman candle. I was a site safety officer on an Amazon job. I think there were approximately 400 people there. Most of them, I won't say they were illegal, but they didn't speak English or whatever. The only ID that they could produce was a photo ID of a voting card from Mexico. In Mexico, they had to have a photo ID to vote, yet they come here, they don't need ID. Now, you can get what they call an ID card from the Department of Driver's License, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's so hard about it. You needed to cash a check. You needed to rent a bike. You needed to whatever. I just think it's an undermining of our government system. And then after the pandemic, I can't remember exactly. We haven't been on vacation for 3 years. We're going away. I'm going down Tyson Avenue about, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile from home. I stop for a light, and I get rear-ended. And the guy was working for a contractor in Philadelphia. 2 guys were driving in a truck. I'm not going to go through the detail. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do that. The only identification he had on him was a Guatemalan passport. No other ID. And he was driving in Philadelphia, working for a contractor with no other ID.
Yeah,
So I just think it's absolutely ridiculous.
And so here's the reason, Jim, that this is important, and the reason the media is complicit in this. Where have you heard this being reported? Where have you heard this?
You haven't.
Right?
That's what even makes me more, I fly a lot. And if you don't have your passport or your Gold Star card, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And so that
I just that in itself proves that the certain parties are trying to do it illegal to win an election. And why the American people, I don't understand. When we grew up, the best ones were the generation right after the war. After that, everything went to hell in a handbasket. And then now it's only getting worse. I mean, people say, oh, you're just getting old. No, I'm not getting old. I remember when you voted. If you didn't like him, you said, son of a gun, I'll fix his ass the next time. And you voted him out.
Yeah.
But now they decide who wants to vote, and then they turn everything around so they get in.
Yeah. And so
I had one other thing. I had a friend. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps, retired. He had a son born in Italy, in Naples, but he was stationed there. Now, he's of English descent, and I just rise the heck out of him because I'm 100% Italian. How do you get an Italian son? He wanted to marry a Croatian girl when he grew up. A year and a half ago, she finally got her citizenship after 10 years in a military family and everything else. 10 years to get a citizenship in the United States, and these other ones just sashay across the board, and they just found those guys that were the terrorists that just walk. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm not getting old. I just remember when things were right, and I think that's the problem today. There's not enough of people with common sense.
Yeah,
well, I said my piece, and I appreciate your radio.
Oh, thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate you, truly do. And Naples, now I'm thinking of southern Italy. Love Italy. I just want to point this out as to why, Pennsylvania Democrats proposed, they've tried every which way to amend state law to grant driver's licenses without a social security number, without proof of citizenship, enabling undocumented immigrants then to receive a learner's permit or get a driver's license. And so you see Democrats every which way, whether it's somebody who is not a legal citizen or even as they try to get underage teenagers, go ahead and register to vote. This is all critical to watch. The media is not going to report on it. Nobody's reporting on it. And anytime somebody mentions this anywhere, it's poo-pooed. Oh, these are all conspiracy. No. Look it up. If you don't believe me, just look it up. So we have 19 states plus D.C. Pennsylvania Pennsylvania Democrats pushing hard for this as they want to make it legal for people who are here illegally, or if they're asylum seekers on that waiting list, that they would be able to get a driver's license. This is scary stuff, and this certainly can tip any election. Got to watch it. This is The Dawn Show. I'm Dawn Stensland, 855-839-1210. We are loaded today. We have great guests for you. We have Ben Manis coming up. We have Guy Shiraki coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. So much to talk about. Stay right there. Happy Monday. Thanks for being here. Hope you're keeping cool this heat wave week. Be right back.
Rev up your golf carts. It's that wonderful time of the year again when 1210 WPHT Madness descends upon the Jersey Shore for a huge party on Wildwood's officially declared Dom Giordano Day. Join Dom from noon until 3 as he broadcasts live from Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill, where he'll be with Scott Presler and some other great friends, with live music provided by the great Burning Sky, the ultimate Bad Company experience. That's live from Mulligan Shore Bar and Grill in Wildwood, Dom Giordano Day, June 21st, noon until 3.
Crash-proof consumer Joe Doherty of Maple Shade, New Jersey, has true security in retirement.
The main foundation of crash-proof is that you maintain your capital investment. It's not prone to the vagaries of the market. You know that whether we have 2 crashes, 6 crashes, no matter how long you live, you know that your principal is safe and guaranteed. Anyone that has any doubts about whether their investments are going to fall or dip down and the troughs and the crashes and all the other vagaries of the market, I just recommend highly crash-proof retirement. Protect your capital, protect your investment.
Only crash-proof retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-Proof Retirement educational event at Downingtown Country Club on Tuesday, July 23rd. The event is followed by complimentary dinner. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Water quality continues to be in topic. Ensure your family is drinking clean, pure water with the Kinetico water system from Martin Water Conditioning. The Kinetico system improves all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap? Crystal clear, all natural, delicious water. Put the Martin Water Conditioning family's passion for water to work for you. Do what I did. Contact Martin Water Conditioning. Visit martinwater.com. martinwater.com. Be sure to tell them Dom sent you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, this is Matt Spiegel, and on my podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, we learn how the best broadcasters in the game, like the Reds' John Sadak, try to capture the greatness of the best players, like Ellie Dela Cruz.
He's a video game character. I mean, he is so athletic, and I think each moment is its own living entity, and I try to just match whatever that moment is.
The PBP, Voices of Baseball. We bring you the people who bring you the game. Find us on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Free speech lives here.
We talked about voting and how the progressives and Biden administration just trying to find creative new ways to welcome in voters, well, who should not be voting, whether they're underage, whether they're not here legally. And then I had seen that, I'm just going to put this out, I had seen that former President Donald J. Trump had put out a note about Illinois, sloppy J.B. Pritzker, the rotund governor from the once great state of Illinois, who makes Chris Christie look like a male model and whose family wanted him out of business because he was so pathetic at helping them run it, has presided over the destruction and disintegration of Illinois at levels never seen before in any state. Crime is rampant. People are sadly fleeing Illinois unless a change is made at the governor's level. Illinois can never be great again. So that was, he had put that on Truth Social. And then if you followed Donald J. Trump's, it's actually under @Trump Daily Posts. That one is where he had posted it both on Truth Social and on his daily posts. But it's so true, and I was thinking about it, and I retweeted it about the land of Lincoln, because you think of Abraham Lincoln, had moved to Illinois from Indiana in the 1800s. He was just 21 years old, 1830. And then he lived in Illinois until he became president in 1861. So let's think about our history. And that's why I celebrate Juneteenth. Who was the Emancipation President, the land of Lincoln, Honest Abe from Illinois? Yeah, Republicans. The first Republican president, Abe Lincoln, Emancipation President. Juneteenth, this was because of and thanks to Republican President Abraham Lincoln. And then if you also look up our nation's history, and they talk about, so Juneteenth, if you know about it, and there are a lot of great, incredible celebrations this week, but the story goes, obviously, that many states did not follow the law of Lincoln, if you will, the law of the land, which was emancipation. And so there were obviously soldiers who went to Texas to make sure that the enslaved people there knew that they were emancipated and that they would be supported and legally they would have backup. But I'll point to you that Texas, look up the states. You might think that this is a Southern issue. It's not. Look up New Jersey. New Jersey actually still had as residents enslaved individuals, slaves in New Jersey, the northernmost states, defying those emancipation laws set forth thanks to Abe Lincoln. But right here in our neck of the woods, this was not just a Southern issue. So we'll talk about that moving forward, and we should celebrate Abraham Lincoln. It's why, and I'll bet you I'll get a phone call or I'll get a message and somebody say, well, Lincoln wasn't really a Republican. Yeah, he was. It's true. And he was the Emancipation President. And we need to make sure we talk about our nation's history in a proper way. But for Republicans, this is certainly a Republican-led holiday. Thanks to Abe Lincoln, thanks to Republicans, were the ones who fought for this. Republicans are the reason that we have Juneteenth and emancipation. Thank God. So that's why I love Juneteenth. I think it's a fantastic federal holiday. And it is weird to me that it wasn't, of all the stinking holidays that the federal government gets, I don't understand why this wasn't more of a, why this wasn't celebrated. Although it could be on Lincoln's birthday too. So they could do it in February as part of Black History Month and make it that. But it's Juneteenth, this Wednesday. So you can sound off if you agree to disagree, 855-839-1210. Ben Manis is just ahead. We'll talk about his latest piece. Haven't checked in with Ben Manis for a little bit. Ben the Man, Manis. So we'll talk to Ben. And then coming up an hour later in the 11 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Guy Shiraki. 855-839-1210. Thanks for being here. This is The Dawn Show. Be right back.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to them, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
The plumbing experts at Hutchinson Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Heating are here to help. Whether you've got leaky pipes, a clogged drain, or a water heater disaster, Hutchinson has your back. And right now, get $50 off any plumbing repair. Same-day service, expert technicians, and a job done right the first time. Need a plumber today? Visit HutchComfort.com, and Hutchinson's help is on the way.
Two legends, one can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. Is there any better time than summer grilling season for a cold Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke in a can. Born for the backyard. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniels Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is known for being South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. Choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area or have their master jewelers create a one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com.
Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free, the consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Good morning. This is The Dawn Show. I'm Dawn Stensland. Glad to welcome back to the show Ben Manis. It's been a little bit since we've talked. Ben has another great piece at Broad and Liberty. Put out the tweet. Thank you, my friend. How are you? Good Monday morning.
Good morning, Dawn. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So tell me about your latest piece in broadandliberty.com, and you're talking about the contradiction in federal job numbers, and you're saying that it further erodes the trust in government.
Yeah, I mean, so if you've seen the divergence in, the mainstream media and a lot of us working journalists who still care about the truth, there's been a lot of speculation about whether or not federal reporting is valid. And yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. There seems to be a lot of fraud, political fraud, happening with the official taxpayer-funded federal reports that we're seeing, especially around the top 3 issues impacting the 2024 presidential election. So when you look at how people are voting, they're voting based on the economy, they're voting based on crime, whether or not they feel safe, and they're voting on immigration. And, if you read my report from May, you'll see that we poked a lot of holes in these crime numbers. The media keeps saying, oh, it's safer now and crime is down. And we're finding out the reporting metrics not only aren't complete, but, the victimization survey that DOJ has is saying, coming back with a lot of people who are saying, no, we're getting robbed, we're getting beaten, we're getting stolen from, and we're not reporting it because we have no faith in the criminal justice system. So it turns out that also the job numbers are the same way. So last week, there was a huge jobs report that came out. And the job report said that over 272,000 jobs were created last month, which is, up from 165,000. That's huge. That's a big victory lap that's being taken right now by the Biden administration. What we're finding, though, is the same Labor Department that published that establishment survey that's generated from new payrolls created from the employers has what they call household survey, where they poll households, and it comes out that the household survey, which used to, for generations, track with the establishment survey, i.e. people get jobs, and, the people in the household also report that they're getting jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Well, according to the household survey, 625,000 full-time jobs were lost in the same period of time. So one of these is obviously incorrect. But when you dig it deeper, you find that 287,000 jobs were part-time.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, what does this mean? This means that two things are happening. One, people in the inflation that has been created in the last presidential administration, the Biden administration, cannot make ends meet on their jobs, so they're picking up part-time jobs. So it's fewer people working more than one job to make ends meet. Yeah. And there is a huge glut in the marketplace right now from illegal immigration. And this is because now with the asylum claims and the, CBP One app, mm-hmm. they're actually allowing illegal immigrants to come into the country with a court date, which enables them to go and get a job, as opposed to working off the books in the shadows, is what they used to have to do before, because if they were caught, they were deported, which they're not being, happen right now. So long story short, the three biggest issues, immigration, jobs, and crime, the numbers are openly being fudged. I mean, as the journalist here, I didn't have to dig deeper than the actual government statistics being published. But because the media has been carrying the administration's water for so long, they're only reading the employment, the establishment number. They're not reading the other one. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of us who are actually finding this stuff. They're being contradicted by their own reports. Yeah. And they're fudging the numbers, and they're straight up lying to the American public.
Yeah, and at the same time, when we think about inflation, we think about Bidenomics and the Fed. It looks like they're not going to raise rates. Maybe they'll raise rates in December. And so you always see this. I feel this is where the media is reporting, the economy, and we hear Biden talking about this. The jobs reports look good. The economy, we're growing. Don't believe what those Republicans are telling you. No. We're believing what we're seeing literally at the pump, at the grocery store. And so that's just it. That in this case, people, what you're experiencing. And the fact that they think we're so stupid that we're going to go, I guess it's not that bad, even though I can't afford anything, right? And I can't afford to put food on the table. I can't afford, what I used to just the basics to provide my family. It's absurd. And I think that's part of the pushback, that the emperor has no clothes.
Yeah, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Don't look at the man behind the curtain, right? And the man behind the curtain is Joe Biden. And why is it Joe Biden? Because he took a bunch of activists and staffed his White House with them. Because, all these things are connected. The reason you're feeling that your dollar is not going further anymore is because everything is centrally linked to policy. So you're right. The Fed is, and I think you meant to say cut rates, right? The Fed isn't going to cut rates until at least November, which means no one can afford a mortgage. Because, how do you go from a 3% mortgage rate to an 8.5% mortgage rate in 1 year? You just simply can't afford to buy a house, so the real estate market is dead. At the same time, he doesn't want anyone drilling for energy. He wants to push this Green New Deal. So your gas is expensive. Now, if your gas is expensive, diesel is almost $1 more a gallon, and that's what the trucks run on. And that means the stuff coming to your market is, dealing with a surcharge, because the cost of getting it to your market from the farm is that much more. So everything is more expensive right now. And, he's constantly, if you check the White House official Twitter account, you'll see constant jobs tweets where he's showing COVID era temporary unemployment due to closures. Because remember, in order to get those stimulus checks, the companies would have to file for unemployment, right? They'd have to say, we had to put this many people out of work. Well, he's taking credit for the people who just automatically came back to work after, COVID went away. You don't take credit for that. That's a temporary issue. That's like saying, when a hurricane hits Florida, we're look at all the jobs we've created because, a week after the hurricane passed, the employment, the jobs opened up again. Well, he's doing that. And now we know for a fact that he's also taking credit for part-time jobs. People are losing their families because they have to take 2 or 3 jobs just to make the mortgage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And look at all the jobs we're creating. Well, because a guy is driving Uber in the 2 hours a day he has free instead of taking his kid to the baseball game, it doesn't mean that that's another job created. That's not a good thing for our country.
I know
people should have one job, and it should be able to make the mortgage, period.
And, I know this is in your wheelhouse as well, Ben Manis, as we look at the Biden administration this morning ready to release more oil from the strategic stockpile once again to try to mitigate the high fuel prices, which, of course, fuels everything. If we have high gas prices, how do this is the amazing thing to me that people don't understand, that when they don't incorporate the fuel prices into any of these estimates on the economy as far as consumer pricing, when you add the higher, 50% higher fuel costs that we've seen during this administration, of course, it's going to supersize all of our costs. But give me your opinion as far as releasing more oil from the strategic stockpile yet again by this administration?
It's extremely dangerous. So, and I'll tell you why. Because Biden, and I'm in my 48 years of life, I've never seen someone tap the strategic reserve as much as Biden, because the strategic reserve is there for emergencies. So don't look at the strategic reserve, right? Look at where the strategic reserve comes from. So the Standard Oil procurement allots gallons or barrels into the strategic reserve. Basically, the appropriate usage of the strategic reserves. Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, and all those offshore platforms had to shut down. We had to hit the strategic reserves, right? So that people didn't have gas lines. He's hitting it just to make his numbers look better. And that's very dangerous because when that goes low, you're not prepared for a hurricane. And we're in the summer. So you kind of want to be prepared for a hurricane, if it strikes Florida or what have you. So, he needs to increase production, but he's not going to do that because, he's between a rock and a hard place with all the Green New Deal people in his caucus. So he's not going to open up Alaska and offshore platforms which have had permits in the pipeline for years, because God forbid, he's looked at as a fossil fuel guy. So he's just hitting our emergency reserves and keeping his finger crossed that between now and November, there's not a natural disaster. Yeah. And that's extremely reckless and extremely dangerous.
I have to wish, I saw that you had posted yesterday on social media. You took your lovely wife, Nikki, out. Happy anniversary. You had put out there. How many years are you celebrating?
12 years we're married. Of course, we were to quote Don Stensland, living in sin for a few years before that. But yeah, I don't know what she sees in me. I don't know how, I got a face for radio.
Stop.
But she's stuck with me through thick and thin, and hopefully that'll continue for as long as we both shall live.
Ben Manis, we've known each other for years now. Media contributor, obviously, to Broad and Liberty, but expert in public safety and integrity. You have so many different hats that you wear in life as an investigator, intel analyst, security head, emergency manager, etc. But as you look at this year and the year to come, and think about relationships, think about all the lies that we've been told by our government, and just trying to make ends meet and be hopeful. What makes you hopeful as you look, now we're, halfway through this year as we head toward November and through the next year?
That's a great question because, our country is at a crossroads right now. And, you could look at the person and the personality, or you could look at the situation that we are all in based on our geopolitical issues right now. And I hope that all Americans, left, right, center, could just do an honest assessment of where they are, where their families are, where their life is right now, and make their decisions on what empowers them going forward. And that's the vote. Because this is scary, but a lot of people are voting based on either identity or their personal beliefs in whether they like Trump or Biden. And that's just the wrong move. This is your employee, America. You're paying them. And your vote is that job interview. So if you feel that everything's going great for you right now, first, give me a call for some stock tips because they're not going great for me. But, if you do, then stick with what you're doing. Yeah. But if you don't, it's time for a change. And that has nothing to do with whether or not I personally like Donald Trump. It has everything to do with the direction of our country and our world right now, to be frank.
Well said. Well, my friend, Ben Manis, until next time. Thank you, Ben.
Great talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep, absolutely. Ben Manis. You can check out one of his latest pieces, broadandliberty.com. We'll take a quick break, maybe on the other side if you want to sound off or sound in. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Imagine outpatient care where all your needs are met in one location. Jefferson Health's Honickman Center is where you'll discover nationally ranked specialty care and more, like patient ambassadors, imaging and lab services, a pharmacy, calming spaces, and valet parking. Designed by patients for patients. Discover a new level of care, created with you in mind. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. If you have a fear of the dentist, you're not alone. My friend and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, is known for helping you overcome your fear and anxiety. Patients have come to Dr. Bentz from all over Pennsylvania, South Jersey, some even farther from New York, Florida, even Washington State. One of our listeners have been putting off much-needed dental work. Get this, for 8 years due to fear and anxiety. After hearing me talk about how great Dr. Bentz was with fearful patients, she reached out, made an appointment, traveling from Ocean City, New Jersey to East Norriton just for Dr. Bentz. She still comes back for routine care. That's how good Dr. Bentz and his entire staff are. They go out of their way to help your fear and anxiety. Now's the time to call Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. See the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com or call 610-272-6949, 610-272-6949.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become a valued part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
You
You know me. You know I love easy living. You want the best. You want relaxation and invigoration. You want to transform your outdoor living space. You go to Jacuzzi Hot Tubs of Southeastern PA because it's not a hot tub, it's a jacuzzi. With Jacuzzi, you get the quality, you get the price, you get the whole thing.
Visit Jacuzzi Hot Tubs of SCPA.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
So I know on Father's Day, candidate Dave McCormick for Pennsylvania Senate wants to beat incumbent Bob Casey, who's the Democrat that Rich Zeoli refers to as the cicada, because he comes out like every 17 years. You kind of hear from him and then you don't hear from him again. But he's ripping on Bob Casey as far as the open border policies. So listen in as Dave McCormick, who wants your vote to help flip the Senate. And let's listen in. Wants to be your next U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania, I should say.
The argument that what the Biden administration is doing is being compassionate is also complete nonsense, because what's happening is a huge exploitation and human suffering, because people think that there's a way into the country, so they're coming in millions and they're being exploited, they're being taken advantage of, and it's a terrible crisis. So the only way we're going to fix that problem is to secure the border. Yep. We have to secure the border. Everything starts with securing the border. Once we've secured the border, then we got to figure out how to deal with the damage that's been done by 10 million illegal migrants entering our country. It's been damaged politically, because the certain reason the Democrats are advocating this is that there'll be a path to citizenship and they'll become voters. Mm-hmm. But it's already affected the census. Those 10 million people are counted in the census, which affects how many congressional seats are put into states like California and New York, where most of the illegal migrants go. So this is a real problem, but day one, step one has to be securing the border.
So that is Dave McCormick, who wants to be Pennsylvania's next United States Senator. He's a Republican, running for the job and asking for your vote he wants to defeat and boot out of the job one Bob Casey. So he's talking about the bureaucracy in Washington, D.C., how it's growing, and how many Democrats especially, or the swampers, if you will, are out of touch with the rest of America, and saying that Americans would be better served if we move agencies out of D.C. and into the country. So I love that. I think also with the media, to me personally, I think we have centralized government. We have centralized media. Everybody in the media, most people who work at the network level are in New York. Some report from D.C. I think we got to spread that out. Why not? And when you look at everything centralized in D.C. and all of these politicos, if you will, they're just so out of touch. But Dave McCormick, what do you think of him? I do love how whenever the media depicts him, the so-called mainstream media, they never mention his military service, and that bugs me. They always say, business CEO, he worked for Bridgewater, et cetera, et cetera. Never mention his military service as a captain in the Army. Do you notice that? And yet, if somebody on the other side, on the left, if they served in the military, they're going to put that right up there. But never for Republicans. I'm just saying, be consistent. If you're going to say, if you're going to talk about the military service of Democrat candidates, then be equal in your coverage or your depictions on the other side too. But Dave McCormick trying to give Casey a run for his money, it would be huge. Can you imagine if we could keep the House, win the Senate? It'd be fantastic for our upcoming November election. And that's why it's important, not just, as I think about the upcoming debate, TikTok, as Joe Biden will be in Camp David preparing for the upcoming debate, it's critical for Democrats because you have all these down ballot votes that are critical. And so if people are not energized for Democrats, that could spell doom and disaster as far as control of both the U.S. and the Senate. That's always an important play. 855-839-1210. I'll stay on time as we take a quick break, take your calls. We have great guests moving forward, some developing stories that I want to get ahead of in the next hour. This is The Dawn Show. Thanks for being here. Happy Monday.
Yes, FanDuel Sportsbook. Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. Swing for the fences this MLB season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook because with Dinger Tuesdays, you can turn dingers into dollars all season long. All you have to do is bet on your favorite player to rip a moonshot, and FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every home run hit during the game. Yeah, home runs just got even better. It's the best way to watch your Philadelphia Phillies because these guys are hitting a lot of home runs this season. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to get in on all the Dinger Tuesday action. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT, 21 and over, President PA. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer. With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me, MD.
Don't walk around with T-shirts and cover-ups at the pool or the beach this summer. Lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. Lose weight the natural way quickly and safely. Locations close by or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Get slimmer before the summer and without any shots. Call 855-5NJ-DIET to lose 20 to 40-plus pounds in only 40 days. Guaranteed. NJDiet.com. Lose the weight for good.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Something amazing is happening in video conferencing. People are showing up in big ways. That's because CDW is building collaborative and connected video and audio environments with HP Poly. With Noise Block AI to silence distractions and group framing to highlight speakers, everyone on your team gets to shine. Make amazing happen. HP Poly and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/poly.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
A real defeat for Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner. A defeat in court. And this after he battled with fellow Democrats. This is the Shapiro administration as well. This ruling coming in on Friday. Hi, Dawn Stensland here. This is a developing story that I want to follow for you. And we've been looking at DA Larry Krasner embattled. So remember we had told you the story that Krasner had fought in state court against the appointment of a special prosecutor because we've heard about all these SEPTA crimes. And so this was under Governor Josh Shapiro, again, a fellow Democrat of Krasner's, and this went to court. Krasner has been fighting this, filed a lawsuit and said this is not fair because Krasner is saying that this is usurping his power, and he was very upset about it. So this was a split decision. This is the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania ruling Friday. And I know that Krasner did hold that news conference. We'll have that audio in just a moment just to hear a snippet of Krasner not happy with this, as he had opposed the creation of this special prosecutor to crack down on crimes on SEPTA. So this happened late Friday. And the Attorney General, Michelle Henry, who's a Democrat, again, under Shapiro. Shapiro held that job, as you know, before he became governor. And so now the new guy in town, the special prosecutor, has been appointed, Michael Untermeyer. Untermeyer, by the way, here's the catch here. If that name is a little familiar to you, Untermeyer is a former city and state prosecutor who was one of the Democrats who ran against Krasner for the DA job. And so Krasner knows him. They ran against each other. Now, Krasner won. And yes, as Krasner will always tell you, he was reelected by the people. He was the pick, if you will. But so he beat Untermeyer. That's true. But now this same person who wanted the job that Krasner got, the DA's job, now Untermeyer is the new appointee as the special prosecutor. So in other words, here's the new guy who has a lot to prove. He has a lot to prove, and he's somebody who would love to be Philadelphia's next district attorney, right? And he also, by the way, ran unsuccessfully for Philadelphia for the sheriff's job last year. But I'm just going to point out to you that Larry Krasner, our DA, is not at all happy about this. He had filed the suit, late last year. And so, as we've covered for you, I mean, there have been a lot of questions And I know that Republicans have busted the chops of Krasner to say that, and he's been one of the raps against him. Well, first of all, when he first came into office, if you remember, came into office, there were all of these murder trials set to go forth. All of a sudden, the victims' family members and loved ones, they go to court after they've been following this and praying for justice and fighting for justice. They go, what happened to our case? Well, remember, Krasner fired more than 100 of these prosecutors, the ADAs as they're called, assistant DAs, fired them because they were pro-police. And all these victims' families were saying, what? Or survivors saying, what's going on here? And so they've said that, look, this is a disaster off the get-go, hasn't been able to hire all these people, and even the people he hires quit their jobs. It's been a hot mess. So in the majority opinion, Judge Ann Covey had written that Act 40, as it's called, does not clearly violate the Pennsylvania Constitution. So Krasner had said this is a violation of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Constitution. The court said, no, it really does not. So this special prosecutor who's going to look in and go ahead and prosecute these crimes happening on SEPTA, plaguing SEPTA riders, and stand up for SEPTA riders. Krasner's not happy. Do we have that audio? Let's listen in.
Why is it that a city that is majority diverse, this is a city that is 40% black, roughly, 20% other people of color, roughly, and 40% white. Why is it in this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that the economic engine, the largest city and the most diverse city is the one where the people don't know what they're doing? And the people who do know what they're doing are funding their economies off of prisons when they don't have steel and coal anymore. Why is that? I think we all know the answer to that. The disenfranchisement of certain people by other people is a sad part of our history, and it's one that we should not repeat. I am hopeful that our Supreme Court will see the wisdom of invalidating as unconstitutional this law.
Okay, can I just stop it right there? Because now Krasner is referring to the fact that this will now go before the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, and the High Court will have a crack at it. Under the new law, as it stands right now, the special prosecutor will choose which crimes on SEPTA property that the special prosecutor would prosecute, and leaving the rest for Krasner's office. And so to me, I think this is a resource issue. Number one, because now you have the special prosecutor that can just go after SEPTA crime. Why is this such a bad idea? Because for DA Larry Krasner, he's looking at it saying, well, no, you're usurping my power. Basically, that's what he's saying. Why is he so upset when he's getting some help? But no. He's saying, and these are his fellow Democrats. So what's the problem here? So he held this news conference late Friday afternoon. He was quite animated, as you heard, is hopeful that the state Supreme Court will side with him as well. But for me in particular, I think, do you even understand the argument he's making? Because if he's making some kind of a racial argument, then why doesn't he resign? He's a white dude. So if you're a white dude and you're saying that all of these different people are basically racist, then leave, resign, and make sure that you get somebody in your job that's more representative, if you will, a woman, a minority, right? It's amazing to me that he thinks he can stand at a podium as a white dude was raised in the suburbs. So he moved here when he was in high school, moved out to the suburbs, and had great opportunities in his life. But it's amazing to me that he doesn't look out and say, oh, well, yeah, I'm talking about racism and I'm a white dude. And somehow he thinks that he can speak to this issue. Somehow he's an expert because he's a Democrat? I don't think so. But these are the talking points of Democrats, that they think, well, we are the Democrats, and so we're the party that fights against racism. And that brings me to where I started out with Juneteenth. No, you're really not. And by the way, if you want to talk about this issue of what is freeing to people, isn't crime disabling? Crime against commuters who want to get to their jobs? And we've talked about this SEPTA crime. We've talked about crime in Philadelphia in general. The fact that people, whether you take SEPTA or not, right, you're perhaps afraid to come into Philadelphia because of the crimes. And they keep saying, oh, well, percentage-wise, murders are down. Well, that's a horrible thing to say. We just had, 5 teenage kids over the weekend? No, 6. Actually 6, because technically this morning a 17-year-old who's hospitalized was shot. You think of the fact that children 17 and under are about 12+% of the victims of these crimes. What do they ride? SEPTA. Because teenagers and many middle school children don't have school buses, so they're subjected to the crime as well. But rather than talk about crime on SEPTA or crime in Philadelphia, he's going off on a tangent talking about the history of racism. Okay, we can all agree racism is real today and in our country. Racism, sexism, ageism. Yep, we can talk about all of the above, and I agree with you. These are all issues that we should be aware of. And if anybody thinks that these issues have gone away, nope, they have not gone away. But you're the district attorney. So run for president or run for city council if you want to talk about these other issues. But your job, DA Larry Krasner, is to go after the criminals and prosecute the criminals so that we are all safer. That's your main job, is it not? But he's going to talk about racism in Philadelphia. It's not his job to talk about that. Talk about what you're going to do to keep our beautiful city, Philadelphia, safer and to crack down on the criminals so that we can get to and from our jobs and exist and children can get to and from school in a safe manner. Deal with the crime and the criminals. Keep us safer. Stay in your lane. But see, he doesn't have a leg to stand on. That's why he has to go off on a tangent. And that's what we need to call him out for. 855-839-1210. But I find it delicious now that he's, in essence, somebody who ran for the job. Michael Untermeyer is the special prosecutor. And I look forward to seeing what his fellow Democrat will do. And maybe it'll give him a little competition and showing him how to crack down on criminals. That would be great. That would be fantastic. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. I'll take a quick break. I'll take your calls. I'm staying on time. Be right back.
Kale & Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Charlie Alexander joining us here on Kale & Company.
Why is there lights on in the buildings? Why do we have cable access in these buildings and internet access on in these buildings? I have it from a good whistleblower, but there's $1,800 worth of bills to Comcast every single month in abandoned buildings.
It's amazing.
Know that there's free internet and phone service. Maybe they plan on putting a Panera in there.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe they'll share their password so I can stream YouTube TV.
Start your day with Kale & Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in Caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
So we have new ads, just a heads up, that the Biden campaign is dropping a $50 million media buy. So let me know if you've heard any of these ads, really calling, making sure that they label former President Donald J. Trump as a convicted felon. I'm a little surprised they're going with that because, isn't his son now a convicted felon? And I thought that he was, I thought Democrats were bothered by the fact that Trump provided amnesty or commuted so many sentences of people who were either wrongfully convicted or were, maybe somebody in a poor or minority community who committed like a marijuana violation, or they were drug addicts and then they were sentenced under those mandatory minimums. And Trump had, provided a real gateway for those individuals to get out of prison as nonviolent offenders, a lot of them women, jailed for decades. So now this is a real flip-flop, if you will, in my humble opinion. And I think it's a risk. I'm going to say this. It's a risk because in many communities, to call Trump out as a convicted felon, that he should not, just based on the fact that he's convicted of a crime, that he should not be able to get a job. I know I've talked about this before, but this is what they're banking on. So it's only negative ads. You know why? What can Biden say? Can he look at safety and security? Can he look at the economy? What can he brag about? Nope. Not much out there, right? So he's got to go with, the evil guy who's a convicted criminal, a convicted felon. I think on many communities, this does not bode well for Biden. I think in many communities, it's saying, oh, okay, so you think that because somebody in my family was convicted of a crime, that they're not eligible to get the job? I think this could backfire. And if that's all they've got, and they're spending $50 million on it, well, you can just watch for it and let me know as the Biden campaign ads call attention to Trump's felon status. Does it just fall flat? In my humble opinion, I believe it will. We're also hearing about these two, that the reports are that they're really jockeying and battling over the upcoming debate, that not everything is set in stone. So earlier this morning, I know we talked about it in Kale and Company. I'll just put this out there, and Susie Cool, thank you, because I know that on Hugh Hewitt's, one of his podcasts, he had put out there, he had interviewed Trump, and Trump had said, it looks like we've won the podium debate that will be standing. I will simply say this. A podium does not necessarily mean that they will not have some kind of a bar stool type of a higher stool that Biden can sit at any point he wants. I don't see Joe Biden standing for 90 full minutes with only 2 commercial breaks. I just don't see it happening. And so I think that there will be an opportunity where he'll have like a specialty like bar stool type chair that he can sit back on. But you may not be able to tell because there will be a podium. This is just me. You can disagree, 855-839-1210. But I think to me, the podium does not guarantee that they also, for the Bidens, the Democrats, they want the opportunity that Joe can take a seat during that 90 minutes. 90 minutes is a long time for him to stand, especially at 9 o'clock at night. There's also word that the jockeying for the Veep spot on the Trump ticket is picking up. And you see all the Sunday talk shows. We've been talking about this morning as well. Who do you want to be the Veep? Who do you want to be the new vice presidential candidate running with Trump? You know I love Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I know that they're saying she doesn't have a chance. I still think she's fully vetted. I love her, and I think she'd be fantastic. I don't want any surprises, and I think that we have seen in the past where if you get somebody that's not fully vetted and they're not ready for prime time, it can be a disaster. So why wouldn't you go with somebody who you know can handle the heat, is fully vetted, is, I think, somebody Trump can trust. She worked for him, obviously, as his press secretary. I think one of the best press secretaries. Because remember in the beginning, let us not forget, there were some individuals early on. Who was it? I'm trying to remember. Remember Zioli imitating, the mooch, Scaramouche, and he was and oh my gosh, he only lasted a couple weeks, and we were only sad to see him go by the fact that Zioli did a perfect imitation of him. But let us not forget all the disasters that we had for press secretary. Then Sarah Huckabee Sanders, wasn't she fantastic? She was solid. She owned it, and she put the media in their place. She's fantastic. Fully vetted, Arkansas governor. She's the youngest governor. The media obviously is not going to bend over backwards for her, right? And not suck up to her because she's a Republican. She's a conservative woman, but she's a mommy. She just beat cancer last fall, cancer survivor. So she's somebody who can totally handle that job. She's fantastic. And she represents the South and the base, you and me. We love her, and we love her dad. So she gets the evangelicals. She's good for the South. She's good for women because she can talk about some of the tough issues, including the so-called reproductive rights issue, which the only reason the Democrats, in truth, the Republican Party, I don't know if it's because they were run by men. I have no idea, but the fact that the Republicans just are awkward on talking about this issue, they just allow Democrats to own the issue. Leave it to Sarah to handle it. Give her a shot. So I'm all in. I love Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I think she's the one. She's fully vetted. Go at it. That's just my take. 855-839-1210. I know many of you disagree with me, even though you love her. I think she'd be fantastic. And I know some of you just think, oh, Dawn, come on. It doesn't matter. The Veep doesn't matter. Okay, usually it does not. But you are in a little bit of a different spot. This is a little different because we have Trump running now for he can only run 2 terms, obviously not in a row. And so he's teeing up the next president of the United States of America. But as well, we need somebody who will be strong in the Veep debate, who will make Kamala Harris look like the shallow individual that she truly is, right? And remember the Pence Veep debate. Mike Pence, all we remember from that debate is that he had a fly in his perfect hair. But if you were going to say how someone should react in a textbook VP debate, Pence was perfect. He was perfect. He was flawless. But he received no credit for it. If you put somebody like Sarah Huckabee Sanders up against Kamala Harris, people will notice, and it will matter. It really will matter. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders will deliver a slam dunk and a stark difference. I'm telling you, she's the one. So I have to, this is my campaign for Sarah. If you agree or disagree, let me know. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. This is the Dawn Show. Quick break here. Got to stay on time for our next guest. Be right back.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
An extended period of hot and humid conditions is in the forecast this week. We'll see a mixture of sunshine and clouds today with a high up around 90. For tonight, mostly clear and warm with a low near 70. And for Tuesday, sunshine and clouds, a bit more humid with a high 92.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-353-9057. 800-353-9057 or biglou.com.
Cozy Jewelers is the place to go to for exquisite engagement rings. Thinking about popping the question this summer? Whether you buy something off the shelf or go for a custom engagement ring, Cozy is there for you and will make sure you get the perfect ring thanks to Cozy's 5 C's. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and the Cozy touch. This summer, begin a lifetime of happiness with a ring from Cozy. Go to Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square or shop online at CozyJewelers.com. That's CozyJewelers.com. And step up to the 5th C, COZZI.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If it's been a minute since you've considered an Infiniti, now's the time to check out the Bush Auto Group. At Bush Infiniti of Westchester, we have exceptional offers just for you. Enjoy rates as low as 4.9% for 36 months on Infiniti certified pre-owned vehicles. Plus, every new Infiniti comes with 3 years free maintenance. Don't wait. Visit in-store today at Bush Infiniti of Westchester or online at infinityofwestchester.com. Philly rides with us.
This summer's temperatures are getting hot, hot, hot. Luckily, Hutchinson Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Heating is here to help keep you cool. Right now, get $50 off same-day AC repair. Or go ahead and upgrade that old unit and save up to $3,700 toward a new full home comfort system. Same-day service, expert technicians, and a job done right the first time. Need service today? Visit HutchComfort.com, and Hutchinson's help is on the way.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to NJDiet.com. Get ready for spring with NJDiet.com.
Listen to Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sunday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Learn about investing, tax strategies, and more. Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sunday mornings at 9.
Hey, Southampton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Just trying to get some of your thoughts on the Veep choice. I'm still going with Sarah. There's something about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, governor, youngest governor, I believe, in the nation. Republican governor, conservative. She's tried. She's true. She's trustworthy. I'm going with Sarah. 855-839-1210. And Vince in Skipback. Want to take Vince real quick and get your take? Hey, Vince.
Hey, Dawn. Thanks for having me. Hey, it's funny that I heard you say this morning about Sarah. I have not heard anybody talk about it. I'm pretty up to date with current events and politics. And I said to my wife like a year ago, I said she would be perfect of all the candidates because she's a governor. She's, again, being a press secretary, so quick on her feet. She'll be able to handle herself no matter what interview she was in or the gotcha questions and all of that. She's a mom. Like you said, she's a woman, would be, historic, as the Democrats love to say anytime they have anything that's a woman or an African-American take a high position. Everything's historic. I get it. But we would have that. And I just think she's overall, like you said, vetted. She's the perfect candidate. And she's young enough. She could run 2 terms after Trump. She's proven in Arkansas. She's tough. She puts in tough conservative policies. I mean, I can't imagine a better person than her.
Amen.
I really can't.
We have consensus. Thanks, Vince. When he chooses her and everybody's surprised, we won't be surprised. I'm just saying. Luckily, there are a lot of good choices out there. I thank you, Vince. I got to get on to, we have Guy Shiraki in the house, but I just wanted to get Vince's take on that. I just like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I think this is a no-brainer, and they have everybody distracted, and then we're going to see the announcement, and I am going to get to say to Greg Stocker, see, I was right. Hey, Guy Shiraki.
Good morning. Sarah does not know how lucky she is to have you in her corner. Hey, look, I think to that, particularly with Trump and Biden running, vice president means a lot because there's a chance that in either case, the vice president may have to take over. And on the Republican side, it's about the next generation. So to me, the first test is, can you be president? Can you be president? And the universe of people that think that Kamala Harris can be president could fit in an old-fashioned phone booth. There's almost no one that thinks, if heaven forbid she were called into action, that she's up to the challenge to understand the issues and debate and represent the United States internationally. So President Trump needs to find somebody who can do it. And I think Sarah, having been in the White House, having been in the highest level of briefings on national security, and someone that's been the governor, won a race, won a contested primary, I think, we could do far worse. And I certainly would believe that she could wake up in the morning and do the job. And I think that's critically important. You also need a fighter. Mm-hmm. And as you said, she's great on her feet, knows the issues. So it's somebody in that mold. Could they be president, and can they fight for the things we believe in? That, to me, ought to be the criteria.
Yeah, this is true. So we'll see. I know everybody loves to talk about this, but I still say she's not out of it. And the reason they don't have to talk about her is that, obviously, as you know, Guy, you have to have somebody where, you have to be vetted. You have to apply for that and fill out some forms. Well, she doesn't have to fill anything out. And so whether it's, Sarah Huckabee Sanders or somebody who ran for president that has been vetted, it just makes life easier. All right, let's talk about Guy Shiraki and what you're talking about, your latest piece, and let's go through it if we can. And Guy Shiraki, of course, a fellow with the Commonwealth Foundation, writer and strategist, former CEO of the Chester County Chamber, and Republican nominee for Congress, dad, husband, coach. How did your Father's Day? Did you have a nice Father's Day?
I did. Our son's in New Orleans, but he called and FaceTimed several times. Once to say Happy Father's Day, and the other was to join us by FaceTime as my daughters gave me my Father's Day gifts. So we had a great meal, had a good time, nice. Ate at an Italian restaurant in Havertown, Bonacera. We had a good time. And this week, softball was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at a tournament up in Langhorne. So Sunday was an off day. So I got to coach 3 days leading up to it and celebrate Father's Day. And Saturday was wonderful because I not only got to coach, but I got to give the commencement address at Achievement House Cyber Charter School. So I had a wonderful weekend doing things that I really care about and spending it with my family. So I couldn't have asked for a better weekend.
It's beautiful. When you think about, you spoke at a graduation, just looking at the state of education, even I'm noticing the Philadelphia Inquirer, and we've talked a lot about Lifeline scholarships and the state of education and the low performing districts and all of that. But lately I do notice that the so-called mainstream media, they are talking to parents and families about vouchers and school choice. I think that's a good one. At the same time, I know that University of the Arts today, the investigation begins into finding out what happened with the University of the Arts here in Philadelphia, why it shut down, and then the latest with Gwinnett, where which is also a high school but university, and why Gwinnett is struggling. Yeah. All of these different colleges and universities financially struggling. Education remains in the headlines this morning, Guy Shiraki.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's why we need school choice in all forms. And as part of getting ready for the commencement speech, I participated in a lot of activities. I was at a staff picnic for Achievement House Cyber on Friday. They have students, as I always say, they're cyber, so their students are from Erie to South Philly, but they're headquartered in Exton. Had a chance to attend the staff picnic on Friday. The seniors, the graduating seniors had a dinner Friday night, and then the ceremony on Saturday, which took place at Westchester University. And, to meet the kids and meet their parents and hear their journeys, and there were tons. And I spoke about some of them, but, just a few as to why choice matters, right? So one is the young woman who gave the valedictorian speech from Westmoreland County. She and her family drive 4 hours plus to be there live so she could be there. She left a situation in public school where, because of, bullying and disruption in the classroom, she needed a setting where she could study. Mm-hmm. And she went from being a not excellent student to being the valedictorian and getting a scholarship and going off to college this fall. That's a success story. There was so that was Lindsay. There was a young man named Lucian who lives in Westchester. Lucian is a battler and a fighter and has a family that love him. And they found that the best place for him was this online school where he could learn at his own, to have the attention he needed. And then there, I have a young student I met from Philadelphia, Ryan, whose mom is absolutely like the moms you've been interviewing for 4 years.
Yeah.
His mom, Robin, is a battler to find schools and to find it. And to find where he, where Ryan is an artist and so creative and so talented. So that little snapshot is the bigger picture, which is we need to have good choices so that every student can find his or her place to be. And talk about what you found at the University of the Arts. Those students, their school's in trouble, the school closes. They have the ability to go other places. And it's horrible that this was hit them, but they have the ability to go to other places. We don't yet have full school choice at K to 12. So a lot of kids, their choices. So the other Lucians, the other Lindsays, the other Ryans don't have as many options to find the right place. Whereas this horrible story at University of the Arts, but in the end, those students are going to get a chance to land on their feet. We need to make sure that there are options so that the children like the ones I met and their families this weekend, that they can find that place where they succeed. Because as you and I have discussed before, it's in everybody's interest that every child find a school where that child can succeed and reach their potential. We all benefit when that happens.
And so school vouchers, once again, in play. The conversation is happening. This is real. So both sides, have their spin. What is the latest with regard to school vouchers, school choice, all of this?
Yeah, so it continues to be the issue. It's now 2 budget cycles in a row, and you have a Pennsylvania Senate that has united Republican support and the tireless support of Senator Anthony Williams, a Democrat from South. And he has really become the leader, a spokesperson on this. You have a governor that says he supports it, but you have a Pennsylvania House that the leadership won't bring it to a vote. But I think we're gaining ground. We're winning the moral case. We're winning the case for kids that need another option, who maybe cyber school isn't the answer. And in Philadelphia, the school district has not allowed a new charter school to open in years. They've capped the enrollment in charter schools. So for the other children that need a place where they can thrive and succeed, you need school choice. And I think we're winning that battle every day. Folks like you are lending aid and letting us promote the case. Parents like the ones I met this weekend are making their case in Harrisburg for more choices. I will be forever optimistic, and I look at it this way. We who support parents and want school choice, who want cyber schools, and who want vouchers, who want scholarships, we're going to win, Dawn. The only question is when. I hope it's this June. I hope we can change thousands of lives this fall. We are going to win. I am 110% certain we are going to win. The question is when, and we can do it sooner if we exert pressure on these legislators to give parents choices to get kids into schools that work.
And you're saying June because obviously the imminent deadline is June 30th. That's the deadline. Could this now stall the state budget, and how much? Will we go into the first week of July, which obviously is a holiday week, going into that week?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, last year, your listeners know, as you were covering it, the legislature didn't get their job done till the middle of December because of this issue. Look, I hope they get the budget done on time so that everybody from state police to people running park services, inspecting our water in schools can go about their business. I hope they get it done. But by the same token, I think this issue is worth fighting for. The plan that Senator Williams is sponsoring and that many Republicans are joining him and supporting, that would probably change the lives of 20 to 25,000 children this fall. I think that's worth fighting for. If we could get 25,000 children out of a school situation that's not working for them, get them into a school that their parents choose, where they can learn, where they feel safe, where they can grow and blossom, that is life-changing. And again, I don't care if you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, or retired, or you're single and don't have kids. If we can get 25,000 children out of a school that's not working into a school that is working, that's life-changing for those children and their families, but for all of us, I think it's a reason to keep fighting and put pressure on the other side. We are going to win. I want the win this year so we can begin to change lives this September. I'm hopeful. Look, this is going to be the big sticking point. Education is issue number one. I think it's a fight worth fighting, and we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of morality, and I hope we all keep fighting for it. And eventually, the Democratic leadership in the House, I hope they recognize that it's the right thing to do, and they let the vote come to the floor. I will put my house on the line. If they put this vote on the floor and they let members vote their conscience, we win.
Yeah.
If they put this vote on the floor and they let members vote their conscience, we win. So we've got a pressure to make that reality.
Amen to that. And I love, one of your titles always talking about parents and children. And when you put that up there, and like you're saying, it's almost, when you have a jury and they know that they're going to be asked individually for their vote, it really is important for lawmakers that we have that transparency. And that I believe that, Guy, that if they forced it to a floor vote, we win on this. And when I say we win, I mean especially children and families in Philadelphia and across Pennsylvania. It's not just big cities. There are rural areas as well.
Oh, yeah. And again, in the case of the cyber schools, I mentioned the valedictorian was from a tiny town in Westmoreland County, about 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. One of the young students I met who is interested and wants to, frankly, be a mortician was from Western Pennsylvania. This is a Philadelphia issue, but it is a Coatesville issue. It is a Norristown issue. Look, it is a rural Pennsylvania issue. There are children in schools that don't work for anyone, but there are children in schools that may be okay, but don't work for them. And the pressure is building to give parents choice. It's, what Governor Young campaigned on in Virginia. West Virginia has taken a leadership role. Florida, Iowa. The idea that parents ought to be able to find a school that works is growing in support. And to your point, it matters to all of us. Could you imagine being a parent that wakes up in the morning and you help your child get ready for school, and you're sending them to a school where either your child feels bullied, isn't making progress, or where no one in her grade is doing reading level work? Why shouldn't we try to have more cyber schools, more charter schools, vouchers? Let parents go find that school that works for their child. We all benefit. And at this moment in time, it's not only that we're pushing for more, there are people pushing for less. There's a bill that has passed the House that is in the Senate that would cut funding to cyber schools by half. So while you and I are talking about more parental choice, more options, there are people trying to do less. I believe that if those in Harrisburg got their way, that there are children at the school who went to graduation this week, they wouldn't have had that opportunity. There are kids that would lose choices. So we are at a fundamental critical divide in the road. There are those of us who want more choice, more accountability, more of a role for parents, more kids finding where they need, and those who want less, those are trying to reduce those choices. That's why this battle is so critical. It's not only that we need to push forward with more choice and more accountability and more parent-child focus. It's we have to stop those who would actually give them less choices and force them back to schools where they came from, where those kids were failing. That's a moral outrage. We have the opportunity to do so much better.
And I know that you're talking on social media about, and you can follow them at AHCCS, so Achievement House, and talking about cyber charter schools. Why is that something that you want people to know about, and why should people support these charter schools?
Sure, because cyber schools are always the second choice, almost always at least the second choice, sometimes the third, fourth, or fifth for a child. Cyber schools and homeschooling are the fastest two parts. If we were looking at a business and we were looking at things that are growing in the marketplace, what's growing in the marketplace? Cyber education and homeschooling. Parents are looking for options and a way to succeed. Dawn, I was at the graduation. I was blessed to speak to a wonderful audience of students and families that hooted and hollered. I thought I was at Citizens Bank Park during the playoffs. I mean, when kids went to the stage, their families erupted because for many of them, it was their second, third, or fourth school. And as I shared with you earlier, I mean, think of the students that I referenced. You know, a gifted student who's gotten a scholarship and going to go off to a 4-year university, who in her prior school felt intimidated that she couldn't speak up and was looked down on when she spoke up and succeeded. A child with autism and cerebral palsy who needed the special attention he could get. A child who went to a school that wasn't safe and had all this artistic talent and was afraid to show it because of that. Cyber schools find children who've had accidents or who have physical disabilities, children who are gifted and are afraid to show it, students who are bullied, students who don't have schools to work, students whose parents work far away and can't necessarily be there. Look, it's something that 70,000 children have found that work. And for those schools that have stepped into that breach, that are the place that a child has found after 2, 3, or 4 choices, that those teachers, those mentors, those counselors go in and fill that void and help those children get to days like Saturday is life-altering. There are 14 cyber schools. There are people trying to cut the funding. If they cut the funding, many of those schools would go away. I can't understand for the life of me why politicians, if they had children at their heart, if they had parents at their focus, why you would take away and close those schools that have become that not only a safe space, but an opportunity for everybody of all gifted students, students who've had accidents. They're answering a call, and you may be listening and thinking that's not the way my kid would succeed. Okay, look, Dawn, to be frank, we have 3 children. I'm not sure any of our children would have thrived in that environment. But I met 140 families this weekend that this was the right option for them. And I want to make sure it remains for the next one. Absolutely.
We're up against a break. So Guy Shiraki, until next time, my friend, thank you so much. You can follow Guy at the little @ PA Suburbs, Guy on Twitter, on X, senior fellow at Liberty, 4PA columnist, Broad Liberty, Real Clear PA. The list goes on and on. Softball coach, great dad too. Glad you had a great Father's Day.
Thanks so much, Donna. Thanks for letting me talk about this. And folks will see the column. They will see my remarks in print in Broad Liberty on Wednesday. Let me know what you think. Thanks again.
Will do. Thanks again. Guy Shiraki, 855-839-1210. Your comments, your calls. Be right back.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Our next Talk Radio 1210 WPHT Politics and Pints. I'll be hosting #1 international best-selling author, Navy SEAL Jack Carr. That's right, June 25th. Tuesday night, June 25th at the Zlock Performing Arts Center, Bucks County Community College in Newtown, PA. Tickets are on sale now, and they will sell out. Go to 1210WPHT.com and get your tickets. And I want to see you there. And if not, remember, I got a guy, and he's a Navy SEAL. See you then.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano inviting you to join me in Wildwood at Mulligan Shore Bar this Friday, June 21st, to celebrate Dom Giordano Day in Wildwood. We have an action-packed day planned, national guest of honor Scott Presler joining us, lots of local guests, and of course, entertainment by Burning Sky, the ultimate Bad Company tribute band. It'll be a great day in Wildwood. Blow off work Friday. Join me at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood starting at noon. Mulligan's at 310 West Hildreth Avenue in Wildwood. Details at 1210 WPHT. WPHT.com.
Want money back for your home improvement projects this summer? Call CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local Lennox dealers. Family owned and operated, serving Montgomery and Bucks counties for over 50 years. With 24/7 service and trained technicians, CNC will make sure your system is running efficiently all summer long. Refer a friend, and if they purchase a new full HVAC system, you both receive money back as a thank you for supporting our family-owned business. Schedule an estimate today at cc-hvac.com/referral.
This is Eileen Canestrassi, CEO of Insight PA Cyber Charter School. If you, like many families, are exploring other options for your child's education, consider switching to Insight PA Cyber Charter School. We are an online public school serving students across Pennsylvania and providing individualized, life-ready learning experiences for students from kindergarten through 12th grade.
To learn how Insight PA Cyber Charter can set your child up for the future, visit insightpaschool.org.
Time! Great workout, Rock.
I'll hit the showers.
Not anymore, Rock. I went to Half Price Hot Tubs and got a nice hot tub and infrared sauna.
Hey, yo, Mick, how many rounds did you go to get that deal?
At Half Price Hot Tubs, you always get the best price on the best brands with more inventory than you have sequels.
I'll get one for me and Buckus.
Half Price Hot Tubs sale ends soon. Save an additional $500 and get our unique chemical-free system at 0% financing.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I hope you keep cool this week in the heat. What a heat wave. In the upper 90s for the rest of the week. Today, 91 degrees is the high. So we begin the heat wave today, go through the week with a hot one. I hope you keep cool. And just as that's happening, the story of a huge chunk of ice from an airplane reportedly crashed through one New Jersey family's roof. That's a little crazy. Hoagie Fest is here. I love this. Kylie and Jason Kelsey have their own hoagies. If you had your own hoagie, what would the ingredients be? Would it be tuna? Would it be beef? I think I like Kylie Kelsey's the best because she has the honey turkey, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, pickles, banana peppers, on a wheat roll. The wheat roll is better for you than the white. But Jason has the Italian hoagie with the white roll. I don't know. Henry, Jimmy?
You're getting me hungry here, Dawn.
I know. It's lunchtime Hoagie Fest. 6-inch shorty will be just $5 and 10-inch classic hoagie just $6. This is a deal. With growing boys, I got these 6'3" teenage kids, you know. This is Wawa is helping out with this Bidenomics economy. I'm just saying.
You can always rely on Hoagie Fest, too.
I know.
It's the best part of the summer. It signifies that summer is here.
That's true. This is their promotion. It's brilliant because we're all going to talk about it. You know, Hoagie Fest. So starts today, goes through, mid-August. I love it. So we'll have to talk more this week about Wawa, Welcome America. So we look towards July 4th, Juneteenth, this Wednesday. So much happening. I don't know. I imagine Dom Giordano probably likes Jason's choice since it is an Italian hoagie.
No, Dawn, I would prefer the wheat. You were right on there. Stop it. You can't be eating that stuff that Jason Kelsey has. I thought he was trying to lose weight after being off with the Eagles. That's the goal. Dawn, we have Laura Trump over the weekend made news saying that we are going to hunt them down. We're going to track them and hunt them down, meaning people who are participating in cheating when it comes to voting. That's exactly a preemptive strike, exactly what people should know. And if they're serious about it, maybe it'll help.
Good. Look forward to it. Great Dom show just